This is the 6th year that we have conducted the candidate forum as part of our annual meeting. We have 3 director seats up for election in 2022, and we have 6 great candidates, which is a testament to the work of our nominating committee. So let me introduce the candidates. Seat 1 from the Central Region is for a 3-year term, and the candidates are Michael Brooks from Elmer, New Jersey, and Amy Walker Bailey from Fort Anne, New York. Seat 2, also from the Central Region, but this seat is for a 4-year term, has 2 individuals, Philip Jamie Jones from Shelton, Connecticut, and David Lucas from Woodstock, New York. Seat 3 is also for a 4-year term, but this one is from our Western region. The candidates are Earl Lagrew from Oakfield, New York, and Terry Ziddle from Eden, New York. So I've instructed the candidates prior to coming here on how the candidate forum will operate. There is an order of responses, and we try to be as fair and impartial as we can in doing that. So we alternate between the regions and we go back and forth alphabetically. The first 3 questions, the candidates will be given 1 minute to respond. And the final question, the candidates have 45 seconds. We do have Chris Lawton, who's been nominated as our timekeeper, who will be trying to keep the candidates to their time. So the first question, and I will repeat the question a few times as we go, is to provide your name and a brief background and tell our audience, what do you believe is the most important for Farm Credit East stockholders to know about you? So we'll start off with our Central Region seat for a 3-year term with Mike Brooks.
Thank you, Alina. So I guess I get this the tough job of being first. So my name is Michael Brooks. I'm a vegetable and grain farmer from Southern New Jersey. I've been on the board of directors for the last 8 years. I've been serving diligently for the members. I have 3 small children at home and a wife, 3 little girls. And I guess what Farm Credit East shareholders should know about me is that I'm still the chief cook and bottle washer of my operation while serving Farm Credit East. And I've had a great opportunity, and it's been a really great privilege to serve on the board of directors and serve this membership and provide my insight and opinion of where I'm at in my career currently to Farm Credit East to hopefully keep Farm Credit East viable in Northeast agriculture and serving customers just like myself. So,
thank you, Amy.
My name is Amy Walker Bailey. I'm from Fort Anne, New York. We run multiple agriculturally related businesses. We have Walker Farms LLC. We milk 1,300 cows. We just did a big expansion this summer. We also have Walker's Farm Home and Tack, which we sell everything from soup to nuts. We do sell milk. All we need is bread. We're getting close. So we have toys, we have hardware, feed, clothing, tack, cowboy boots, casual clothing, Carhartt clothes, everything you can think of, we sell. And then we also have MGK Enterprises, which is our contract feed hauling company. We haul feed for Cargill Animal Nutrition, Green Mountain Organic Feeds out of Bethel, Vermont, and we also contract haul for Gold Star and Gavilon Ingredients. So I am too the chief cook and bottle washer all the time. Mike and I talked this morning. We both had a Monday, so we've got to get ourselves pulled together and organized. I have 3 kids. My youngest one is a junior at Siena. I have a daughter who graduated from Tufts University and she got her master's there and she works in Boston. And my son Garrett just graduated from Cornell last May. He's currently employed on a 6,000 cow dairy. We felt it was important that he took some time to really make a decision to come home. We want him to be sure that home is where he wants to be. So I would say something, oops, am I done?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Amy. So again, please provide your name and a brief background and tell our audience, what do you believe is most important for Farm Credit East stockholders to know about you? We will turn now to our Central Region 4-year seat with Jamie Jones.
Thanks, Elena. So my name is actually Philip Jamison Jones, but my parents decided to confuse me for my life by nicknaming me Jamie because my grandfather was Philip and I grew up like the 5 generations before me on the farm and we all lived together. So we grow strawberries, blueberries, pumpkins, Christmas trees. I ran off to Cornell, graduated, thought it'd be a bright idea to start a winery. And now with over 12 acres of vineyard, we're producing 6,000 cases. Pretty much all of that is direct marketed to, many thousands of guests who visit our farm each year. I could certainly not be here without the support of my family and an amazing team of employees that we have. Probably about 25 full-time employees and seasonally well over 100 people work for us to interact with the people. It's not just a agricultural operation. It's, a lot of hospitality. And I would say at least I'm the chief cook in my house. Because the 3 kids that we have range in ages from a junior in high school to a daughter in 5th grade. And I keep saying by rooting for sports, I'm disappointed in my picks for the March Madness tournament, but at least grateful we have a baseball season. So looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Dave Lucas.
My name is Dave Lucas. I'm from Casanova, New York. My brother and I own a 700-acre farm that we lease out. It goes back to the 1790s. My family's always been involved in some form of agriculture, farm equipment, et cetera. I have a little bit of different background because I've been more on the commercial side. I've done 5 national product launches for animal health companies and feed additives. And now I currently own an animal health company that manufactures products that sells domestically and into 25 different countries around the world. Dr. Naylor Animal Health Products. The ability, a lot of my background I bring to this is my ability, having done these product launches across the country and understanding the domestic and international markets. I've got 3 children, all off on their own, finally, doing their own thing. And with that, I'll take my 10 seconds.
Thank you. So provide your name and a brief background and tell our audience, what do you believe is most important for Farm Credit East stockholders to know about you? Our Western region, Earl Lagrew.
Good afternoon. My name is Earl Lagrew. I am currently one of the owners, vice president and CFO of Lamb & Webster. We currently have 4 stores, 3 in New York and 1 in Pennsylvania with 70 employees. I handle all financials, legal, insurance. My wife allows me to do that. My 2 girls are grown up. They're graduating from college this spring, and I look forward to them on their adventures and their careers. What I bring to Farm Credit East is the ability to work in various aspects of the business that the shareholders need. I've been through it with all the shareholders that we have. I've gone through the ups and downs, the high milk prices, the low grain prices. I've seen it in the 10 years I've been with Lamb & Webster, the previous 18 years that I was with Claas of America, and I actually started with one of our competitors in 1992, Monroe Tractor, as a salesman on the road. So with that, I have been to many of the farms throughout Vermont, New York, some in New Hampshire, many in Pennsylvania, and I think I bring a fairly good diversity that I can lend my expertise and further the shareholders' interests in Farm Credit East.
Thank you, Earl. And Terry.
And last but not least, thank you, Bill Ziddle, that Z word. I am Terry Ziddle. I have the privilege of a very diversified ag background. I grew up in Southern Delaware on a fruit, poultry, and grain farm, and then went off to Cornell to study animal science, thinking I wanted to be a large animal veterinarian, and met Bill Ziddle, who kind of changed my mind on that. So I ended up back in Western New York. I did work for Cooperative Extension for a while on a dairy team in Western New York. And then I'd worked for the past 40 years with Amos Ziddle and Sons, a 5th generation farm. And we raise 400 acres of fresh market vegetables. And we have 3 acres of greenhouse where we do rooted liners and a finished pot crop. Not pot crop, a finished crop of annual flowers. I should be careful how I say that. So one of Bill's and my greatest accomplishments was raising 4 children. But with that came a lot of customer service, a lot of community service and different boards that we served on. And recently I've been helping my son with the Harvest Malawi irrigation project in Africa. So I guess I finished my first term as a farm credit on the Farm Credit Board and being on the Ag Initiative Committee and also on the Audit Committee. And I really feel like I have the time, the energy, and the skill set to represent our ag industry. And I'm red.
Thank you. So our second question, again, a 1-minute response. What aspect of Farm Credit East is of greatest interest to you? Finance, governance, risk management, business strategy, public policy, or maybe something else? The order of responses will switch, and we'll start with our Central Region 4-year term with Dave Lucas.
For me, it's business strategy. I feel comfortable with finance, risk management, et cetera, from my education, having an MBA, but it's business strategy. It's what I've done through the course of my entire career, designing marketing programs and running my own company, guiding, developing into new countries. It's really finding what the needs and wants are out there of the consumers, and making a program that works for them. I think that's the trick as we enter into a global society, what we can do and provide tools for our people to go out there and expand. And that's where that efficiency, that's where I plan to go.
Thank you. Jamie Jones.
Yeah, I always find this is kind of a tricky question. I'm a naturally curious individual and everything interests me. And I think being an effective board member is just asking questions about everything, whether you're an expert or not. But for the purpose of this question, I think I would have to probably land on the public policy area. I am fortunate to serve as chair of the governance and stewardship, so that kind of falls under that. And I've certainly had the opportunity to interact with legislators at the state and federal level. But I think almost more importantly is kind of an agricultural advocate, visiting with a number of the consumers that we have and working with our business to tell agricultural story for a country, and kind of from a grassroots helping those people understand and for their role in the electorate of people. So that would kind of sum up where I believe my strengths are.
Thank you. Switching to the Western Region, starting this time with Terry Ziddle. If you would like me to repeat the question,
No,
I can.
That's fine. No, that's fine. Thank you. I could just repeat what Jamie just said. I really feel that all of those areas are important to the success of farm credit. And as a board member, I feel like I've been exposed and have working knowledge in all the areas. But right now, I feel like public policy is of particular interest to me right now and top of mind. I feel very passionate about it. Right now, I feel like in our industry, we're having so many issues with water withdrawal permitting and food safety and labor issues and all these things that are making it very difficult for us all to farm. And with our policymakers sitting somewhere up in an office, not even close to agriculture anymore, I think it's more important than ever that Farm Credit East is there to help advocate and to lobby for us. I also feel like in addition with Farm Credit East being a government-sponsored entity and dedicated mission, to providing funding and services to farms, it's important that our legislators and our regulators understand and know the importance to farmers. And I did have the opportunity to go to a couple fly-ins, as did Jamie, to DC and to tell our story to our legislators. And I think it's very, very important that we continue to get that story out there. We have a good story to tell. But I guess that would be my passion at the moment.
And Earl.
With my diverse background running Lamb & Webster, I'm very comfortable in all areas, but most specifically the finance. I have to watch those metrics on a daily basis so that we're successful internally, but I also need to know what is happening to our customers. A lot of equipment nowadays is 6 months to a year out. Do I order $40 million worth of equipment or only 20? So I have to watch your numbers as well as mine and plan for that in the future. So that is the area where I'm most comfortable with, is the finance end of it. In the past, I did a little cheating. When I was with Cost of America, I did keep in touch with my friends and colleagues in the Midwest. So I knew if they got an inch of rain, what corn prices were going to do. I knew where they were planted and planned with my dealers here in the Northeast as to what we were doing in the future. So there are metrics that are available that we can look at and help stabilize both our shareholders and our businesses.
Thank you. And turning to the Central Region 3-year seat with Amy Walker-Bailey.
What really interests me about farm credit is I feel that in agriculture every day we're being pressured by a lot of outside forces. As Terry said, water withdrawal permits. We milk cows, so we have CAFO regulations to deal with. We have a lot of non-funded government decisions that we have to cope with every day and figure out how to pay for. Those things aren't always just paid for. We have to figure out how to take care of that. our markets are all very uncertain. I'm very familiar with dairy. We ride a roller coaster. I'm pretty sure that forestry, fishing, vegetables, everybody else rides that roller coaster. I think it's important that Farm Credit East is our voice and helps us to educate the public, being the consumer, as to why we need agriculture. Where does the lumber for our house come from? Where does the dairy come from? And also to help educate our legislatures, because I do feel that they're not necessarily in touch with us. And in agriculture and all sectors of agriculture, we need a very strong voice.
Thank you. And Mike Brooks.
Thank you. So I guess the thing that interested me most, as most of the people in here that know me, is probably business strategy. You know, I'm a strategic thinker, I believe, and like looking into the future and seeing what would happen. The Farm Credit East that I dealt with 20 years ago when I got my first loan, the one that I became a board of directors member of 8 years ago, and it is today, they're not the same company, I don't believe. I mean, we've done a lot of different things, deployed a lot of different technology, yet we're serving the same industry that also in those 20 years has changed dramatically with technology, with the regulations, the way everybody is doing business now, I feel has changed dramatically. And Farm Credit East's responsibility to our borrowers is to continue to keep up with that change, implement systems and programs to continue to provide low-cost capital to our members, as well as consulting services and utilize technology to help our members become better business people and be good stewards of the agricultural industry in the Northeast. So business strategy is really where I look at from a board of directors member to help management and the CEO help move our cooperative forward. So.
Thank you all. So the third question, again, 1 minute for responses, is based on your knowledge and experience, what is your vision of the future of Farm Credit East as it relates to Northeast agriculture, forest products, and commercial fishing? This time we will start off in the Western region with Earl.
In the next 5 years, one of the things that was interesting was the company I worked with, Class of America. We always had a 1, 5, and 10-year plan that we reviewed. The 1 year quarterly, the 5 year annually, and it changed on a regular basis. And in the next 5 years, I would like to see us solidify our current base, and I think there's room for improvement. I personally know some people that have left the farm credit business, have gone to other banks. And with the changes that we've had over the last several years, I think there's an opportunity for us to bring those people back into our fold as shareholders and help them benefit their business. And that's what I would like us to do, is have 1, 5, and 10-year plans and strategize about what we're going to do and review those on a regular basis.
Terry.
So my vision for Farm Credit East for the future is to really continue down that path that we're on right now. Our CEO has a great vision board, and on that is I mean, we need to remain competitive, meeting all the needs of our customers, obviously, and giving that best customer experience. But, you know, continue to keep that information safe, do all those things that we have on that great vision board, but we need to continue to do it and do it even better. But we've been on this huge digital journey right now, and witnessing how far we've come just in 4 years. Our improved technology allowed us to be able to pivot and to be able to help our customers at home, working safely from home. And we would have been able to do that without that beginning of that digital journey. But it's really important that we continue looking down the road even further on that digital journey, because things are changing very fast and faster than we can even imagine. So, you know, and I think right now it's we've got a challenge as directors. We need to challenge our excellent management team to continue looking further down the road than they're comfortable doing. So, and stay on that cutting edge of technology.
Turning now to our Central Region 3-year seat with Mike Brooks.
Okay, so my vision for Farm Credit East is to do whatever we can do to continue to maintain our relevance in Northeast agriculture and help our members become more successful. The digital transformation and digital journey that Terry talks about, I think, is a great thing to help utilize our talent within the organization. I feel that that should become more accessible as geography no longer limits us to who we can interact with the implementation of technology. I feel that there'll be more services that can be provided, not just simply financing, which we already do now, but to help make that a little bit more robust of all the different services that the growing agricultural businesses in the Northeast need. As I said prior, I know our cooperative will not look 10 years from now the way that it does today. How that'll actually be, I don't know. But I'm really excited with the management team that we have in place, with the members that are being successful within the agricultural industry. I feel that we really do have a good story and a great foundation to continue serving Northeast Ag in the future.
Thank you, Amy.
So I haven't served on the board, but from a customer's viewpoint, I would say that I feel that Farm Credit East will remain in all of our agricultural industries, a very integral part of our business. You can't go to your local bank and get a farm loan. They don't understand that. So in the Northeast, Farm Credit East is our support system. So as a customer, what other things can they bring to the table? They bring consulting, they bring payroll, they help smaller farms manage their books and their income taxes and things like that. So they do those things fantastic. What's next? What's our next step? Because as you know, we live in this changing world and everything's different from day to day. We never know what's going to happen next. So I would like to think that, you know, I feel that Farm Credit's very invested in us, in all of us in this area, and that they will continue to help us grow our business. And I'm curious to see what management thinks that that's going to be. I feel that, you know, there's always more they can do to help us, whether it be through management or information or legislation.
Turning now to our Central Region 4-year seat with Jamie Jones.
Thanks. Well, I think we all know Farm Credit has always played a vital role in all of our businesses. And as you look to the future, there's kind of two things that are happening. Obviously, a lot of consolidation, a lot of businesses are getting larger, more complex, and additionally in the cycle of businesses, there's a lot of new starting up. So I think there's basically three keys that, you know, Farm Credit East can focus on. One that's already kind of been mentioned by Terry and Mike and the others. You've got to look at technology and data, how we can become more efficient. Secondly, it's the staff. Farm Credit East, we are a relationship lender. I look across this room and all this wonderful talent and the staff that's here and the opportunity that they're going to have to spend more time interacting with our customer base. At the end, I think that's a retention tool probably for both of them. And then finally, I think we got to, as even Amy mentioned, I think you got to kind of leverage a lot of the financial services, especially some of those businesses that are getting larger and more complex. That's going to kind of what's going to not just keep a business like ourselves borrowing money, but help us do the things that we just don't have time to do well, whether it's, you know, the taxes, the accounting and the consulting. So I think if you can combine those three things, adjust the sales when needed, Farm Credit East is still going to remain very relevant and important in the future.
And Dave.
I think this goes back to my previous answer in that we're in a global marketplace, no matter what we are. I mean, whether there's 60 cow dairy and our input costs are coming in, or whether we're a greenhouse and we're selling our products to someone else who's exporting the product. Everything that we do in agriculture is coming through from a global perspective. And I think is Farm Credit looks to that needs is producers move to that role and find other avenues where they can create revenue that's not controlled by the government, such as milk pricing, moving to other areas. It's the ability to create mechanisms that they can handle that viability and the flexibility and crazy frequency curves that we see out there on the global market. I mean, if you're a producer and you're shipping product to another country and it gets stuck in customs for 6 months, you've got to manage that cash flow and it can kill you. You know, a lot of that we see, and there's opportunities out there to manage that, from climate controls, carbon sequestration that comes into a revenue stream, to milk protein isolates and those type areas as producers to move into other areas.
Thank you. So finally, we're going to give our candidates an opportunity to provide any closing comments that they feel is appropriate. The response will be limited to 45 seconds. And at this point, we will go alphabetically. And I apologize, Terry. Or Mike. So we'll start with Mike Brooks.
Okay, thank you, Alina. So it has been over the last 8 years a honor and a privilege to serve the cooperative. And I guess in closing, when I started and was first elected to board of directors members, as a board of directors member, it was just me and my wife. I now have 3 little girls at home. So I will close with how I explained to my 6-year-old why I'm going to be away and not be able to put her to bed at night. And I said, I'm going to help a cooperative that has helped me, or a business that has helped me in my career. So, it's really important that I have to be at these meetings to help make sure that this cooperative is running successfully, that we're still able to help people like me have a successful career at business. So that'll be my closing comments. I really would appreciate your vote, and I've appreciated the faith that you've had in me over the last 8 years. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Jamie Jones.
Thanks, Elena. It's most definitely an honor to share the stage with 5 other most qualified candidates. But in closing, there's a quote that I like, and it's, "Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will, in the end, contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness." Thomas Jefferson wrote that to George Washington 235 years ago. I think that's still true today. We've got a farm credit system over 100 years old, and I think that's a fine instrument to maintain that. And when you overlay the context of the world events that are going on right now, we have the ability to control our destiny. And those of us all sitting in the room, the ability to be part of a cooperative where we get to choose, the leaders to guide the strategy on it. I think that's pretty remarkable and something that we should never take for granted. So I just thank you for the honor of being here, and please remember to vote.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Earl.
I think if the best thing that you could do is read my bio that is online. I do have a lot of experience in several of the areas. One of which, when I was a county legislator, I was elected by a few for certain districts, but I represented all 60,000 people in Genesee County. The same thing will happen here. Not everybody will vote, but I will represent all the members from agriculture, forestry, and fisheries on the board of directors. And hopefully my decisions are something that they can build upon and that Farm Credit East as a whole can build upon.
Thank you. Dave.
I know I'm a little bit different style candidate than everybody else up here. My path has gone divergent from being in the trenches of agriculture, but I'm still involved in it with our family farm that we work. But more importantly, my diversity brings to a different perspective that I can see things from a 5,000-foot level, but also a 50,000-foot level. Having done national launches and done focus group testing across the country, it's given me the ability to understand agriculture from a lot of different perspectives. And from that, I believe that gives me a different view to look at challenges and problems and opportunities that the board sees that I can help them with. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I thank you in advance for your vote.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Amy.
Sometimes I'm a W, sometimes I'm a B.
It's nice you have that option. Amy. Work hard on that.
I guess what I would say is we had a family meeting probably 10 years ago, and our decision to, if we were going to be successful in the future, was that we needed to participate in our business, whether that be in our milk company, whether that be in Farm Credit East. We need to advocate for what we do every day. So our family has made a commitment to doing so. We're all busy. They always say if you give a busy person something to do, they're going to figure out how to get it done. So I feel that the only way that my family, I've had a grandfather, my father, I'm there. Hopefully my son comes home. Hopefully he finds a girl to run a farm store. The only way we're going to be there in the future is if we participate. And also all the shareholders need to participate, and they need to vote. Whoever you vote for, you need to vote, and you need to get all the people to vote, because that's what's really important.
Thank you. And Terry.
So thank you for allowing me to serve this last term on the board. And as I did that, I completed 4 premier governance classes and many learn at lunches, and finally learned all those acronyms that are out there, hundreds of them. But now I have a greater appreciation and working knowledge of what it does, is what it is expected of a director. And in particular, is the importance of alignment and trust between the board and our senior management team, the dynamics necessary to be an effective director. So I would be greatly honored to have your support as I seek reelection. And I really, it's been an industry that I've been very, very passionate about. I've grown up with it. And I really want to share my passion with agriculture and production, share my ag experience, and give back to our industry. You did it.
Well, thank you to,
Mark out.
thank you so much to our candidates. It's a testament to the membership that we have such qualified, eligible, and great candidates. So can we give them a round of applause?